Appfutura is a web browser and a compression technology company. We're the oldest web browser that's still on the market. And what we do is make sure the data, the websites come to you fast, safely, and affordably. So we compress all the data before it gets to you. This year we plan many things. We're revamping our desktop product. We've just launched Opera Max, which is a product that compresses all the data into your Android device, not just to the browser, but everything coming in, and compresses video too, and also offers a layer of encryption so that like if my kids are in a coffee shop broadcasting their Facebook password, we automatically encrypt it too. And there are many more things that my PR and marketing colleagues would kill me if I spoke about. We're based upon the same rendering engine as Google Chrome for our full-featured browsers. And we work very closely with the Chrome team. So we don't just skin it, we're the second biggest contributors to the open source software called Chromium. What we offer on top of that is compression. So for example, in Opera for Android, which is the full browser for Android, there's a mode called Turbo Mode. You turn that on and you'll get between 50 and 60% compression on all the stuff coming in, and including video as well. And that's not just for places like India or something like that. It's great for me when I'm in Barcelona with a UK SIM card, because I pay less and I like paying less for my data. This is something called progressive web apps, and Opera, me and my colleague Andreas have been working closely with friends in Google and Firefox. So this is across all the modern browsers on mobile devices, particularly Android. And the idea is that we know that many people, many developers have a hard job getting app installs. It's expensive to acquire users for apps. And also a lot of people don't have space on their phones for loads and loads of apps. So there's a new mechanism called progressive web apps. And what that allows you to do is you make a website, just a normal website. You add something called a manifest file, which is just a few kilobytes of JSON data, saying things like, here's an icon, display me full screen, my default orientation is portrait or landscape. And then in a browser like Opera for Android, Chrome for Android, and very soon Firefox for Android, the user can add that to the home screen, and instead of the browser icon going to the home screen, the icon that you specify in the manifest file goes to the home screen, and then when the user presses that icon, the app just launches, but it's on the web. So if you're not in a browser that supports progressive web apps, you just get a website, and nobody's worse off. But the great thing with that is that we spent so long adding features to the web, like geolocation, access to the camera, access to the microphone, that because we're engineers, a lot of us forgot, and I'm guilty of this too, a lot of us forgot that user experience is a feature, and we hadn't added it. So progressive web apps joins the dots between lots of technologies that already exist, but adds that user experience layer that people like about native apps. So you can go to a progressive web app, you press the icon, it can launch full screen if it's on HTTPS, so the user's secure. You can set the orientation and it feels just like a native app. But the great thing for you as a developer or a site owner is if you make a change to your app, you don't have to wait for everybody to go onto Wi-Fi and download loads of megabytes. Because it's a website, the moment you make a change, the next person going to that website sees your change site. So it gives you that instantaneousness of publishing that gives the consumer the user experience of native apps. And we're seeing huge uptake of that amongst some very big name sites. I was just in Bangalore in India Well, there's a website called Flipkart, which is a big e-commerce site over there. And about a year ago, they shut down their mobile app. They shut down their mobile website and directed everybody to the app. And they've just reversed that, and now they've relaunched their website as a progressive web app. And their reason, they said, was so that it could reach everybody over all the flakiest networks in India, because it gives you the reach of the web, but the UX of native apps. Make sure your website works well. Make sure it works without JavaScript, and use JavaScript to enhance the HTML and the CSS. Get the manifest. I wrote a manifest generator that you will just crawl your existing website for the metadata you've probably already got there. If you serve it over HTTPS, it's better for everybody, and Opera will allow you to go full screen. Chrome allows you to go full screen even when you're not on HTTPS, but I personally think that it's important when you're not on a secure site for the user always to know where she is. So even if the developer said open full screen, Opera will disobey that and always show the URL bar if you're not on HTTPS, because the user's right to security trumps the web developer's right to go full screen, in our opinion. And what you could do as well is you could use a new technology called Service Worker. And Service Worker allows websites to work offline, which is another thing where native was better than the web for offline. But now that problem is solved, and Service Worker allows you to work offline. But just make a great website that people want to go to. Add a manifest. Make sure it works everywhere, and you're good to go.